Good afternoon and welcome to the Standing Committees meeting for Monday, November 24th, 2025. All council meetings will be live streamed on the city's website, and for guest speakers, please do not turn off your microphones. Our first order of business is roll call. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Mr. Sharlin.
Here.
Mr. Coghill.
Here.
Ms. Gross.
Here.
Mr. Lavelle.
Here.
Mr. Mosley.
Here.
Ms. Kell-Smith. Ms. Warwick.
Here.
Mr. Wilson. Ms. Strasburger, Chair.
Here.
7 members present.
Thank you. I would like to remind, our next order of business is public comment, and I would like to remind all speakers that the rules of council state that comments are limited to matters of concern, official action, or deliberation, which are or may be before city council. Profanity will not be permitted. Please state your name and neighborhood for the record. You will have 3 minutes to speak. Our first registered speaker is Aaron Sukanik.
Hi, everyone. Aaron Sukanik from the Pittsburgh Downtown Partnership. Resident also of the city's Regent Square neighborhood. Here today just to voice our support for the URA and the work they do. We at the Downtown Partnership have really appreciated our working relationship with them, including on the downtown conversion program, and look forward to supporting them and their pursuit of additional resources to fund that and support more of the office to residential conversion projects. But today, I really want to just voice support for their non-housing programs, including funds for small business investment and entrepreneurship. In the past year, the URA has supported 2 small business loans in downtown Pittsburgh. But in downtown, just like in your neighborhood business districts all over the city, over 70% of our storefronts downtown are under 4,000 square feet. So these loans really primarily go to support those smaller footprint businesses. And this impact goes beyond the businesses and the districts. It's an investment in the whole neighborhood because we all know these districts serve as the front door and the living room for almost every neighborhood. And right now, the cost of doing business and taking the risk to open a small business is higher than ever. And the URA plays this important role in supporting these entrepreneurs and building and sustaining our business districts. So in the spirit of Thanksgiving here, I do want to just say thanks for all you do. And these budget decisions I know are hard to make, but appreciate the thought that you put in and the work you put into it.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker is Steve Mazza. Don't see Mr. Mazza online or in person. We will move on to Shakee Scott. We do not see them with us. We will move on to Dr. Ronald Lynn Miller.
Dr. Ronald N. Miller, downtown, 412-969-7997, founder of the Center for Global Studies International Interdisciplinary, 1999, PA Corp. 2A31602, Global Intelligence Society founder, 2010, the Global Intelligence Society President Candidate USA, 2028. On 7 November 2025, I communicated an information intelligence brief. All of the items are of concern to this council, and I'm going to go through that. RLMG CGSII GIS meetings for the years December 2025 to December 2028. 1, PCAN, the Pittsburgh City Ally Network, International Ally Identifiers in 90 neighborhoods in 9 council districts in relation to more than 50 cities in the 4 world regions. 2, PCNN, Pittsburgh City Neighborhood Network, intra-city linkers from 90 neighborhoods in the 9 council districts. The person this morning trying to connect the URA with neighborhoods, completely inadequate in her statistics, unprofessional in her refusal to furnish a business card. 3, PENC, the Pittsburgh Elected Neighborhood Councils Action Group. 4, PETS, Pittsburgh Elevated Transit System, City-Controlled PRT Alternative Action Group. 5, PNAIIP, Pittsburgh Natural Artificial Information Intelligence Publications Assessors. 6, PNFO, Pittsburgh Neighborhood Food Enterprises, Mini Farms, activists. 7, EP, Pittsburgh Neighborhood Financials, Microbanks, Actioners. 8, PPSS, the Pittsburgh Public School System. 9, Counselor-Led School District System Alternative to the current PPS, Advocates and Adversaries in Debate. 9, MP, Pittsburgh Child Medical Plan, Child less than age 19, City Coverage Guarantee, Advocates and Adversaries on this. 10, Vote by Voter Verification for whom? VVVFW, Neighborhood Vote Control via Pittsburgh City Identity Card, City Self-Check for his or her vote misplacement or misapplication. All these are copyright by me, and if you use them, you need to reference me, and if you don't, you will be pursued in court.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Lori Moran.
Good afternoon. My name is Lori Moran. I'm with the East Liberty Chamber of Commerce and also with Valley Money Real Estate Services, which is a Pittsburgh-based real estate firm. The East Liberty Chamber, on behalf of our business district, strongly urge City Council to maximize the funds allocated to the URA for small businesses and for neighborhood economic development. Regarding the economic development funds, a pointed example of the return on economic development dollars is East Liberty. Our group owned the Village of Eastside shopping center with Trader Joe and Staples from 1989 until about 5 years ago. We saw firsthand the tremendous impact that the URA had on that community, wisely partnering public monies with private monies to create an economic engine that will continue to churn out jobs, tax revenue, and services for our city for decades to come. It would absolutely not have happened without the URA's involvement in public funds, much of it leveraged and sourced from the URA. Thousands of new jobs, new residential units, market rate and subsidized, and dozens of new small businesses and many critical national tenants moved into East Liberty as a direct result of these development funds. An even more recent and poignant example of a direct return on investment for the city of Pittsburgh that's specifically tied to URA development funds is 40,000 square feet of newly leased office and retail space that's occurred over the last 10 months in the immediate vicinity of the new Broad Street Plaza, which the URA spearheaded along with the city of Pittsburgh. These spaces have been vacant for years, but they came alive because the development dollars allocated by the URA, which brought new jobs, tax revenue, and spending dollars to the local businesses. Filling these vacancies will also reduce crime and increase vibrancy, which is critical to the health of the neighborhood. Regarding the small business funds, small businesses are the fabric of our community. They're the heart of our community. It is so much more than just providing a job for a family. It's about relationships, walking into a store and the clerk knows your name. They ask about your family. It's generation after generation of memories and tax revenue, but really it's the heart of the community. Small business capital and the training programs that the URA provide should be a major budgetary priority because the investment, again, is the highest return and is absolutely vital to our business community and our region's stability. So we strongly, the Chamber and the development folks who have seen the direct results of what these public monies can do and that are absolutely critical that fill in the blanks where private monies will not cover have to be infused into our neighborhoods. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker is Ikahana Helmakina.
Greetings. My title is Chief Ikahana Helmakina. I dedicate today's testimony to my dear friend, Carmen Brown, who peacefully transitioned today. It's fitting that I echo her name in these very chambers, where she often used her voice as an agent for much needed change. It is also where we met and formed a bond just a few years ago. Carmen was a fierce, brave, determined, knowledgeable, caring, passionate, unapologetic warrior for truth who fought against injustice wherever injustice bore its ugly head, showing up to lend her voice to expose the truth and dispel lies even when it was unpopular to do so. She single-handedly caused Reverend Ricky Burgess to retire early and not seek re-election. She stood firm on issues of transparency, equity, and justice, exposing bad actors for not following the letter of the law. Whether it's calling for the removal of the former Warden Harper for his unfair and egregious behavior at the Allegheny County Jail, or leading the charge to keep Wilkinsburg a borough and not annexing it to the city of Pittsburgh, or helping a mother reunite with her children when the unjustice system stole her children, communicating her disdain for Allegheny's governance of the city, and fighting against inclusionary zoning, or calling for the disbandment of RCOs, and taking a stand for truly affordable housing by lending her wisdom, knowledge, and knowledge of the law to assure the people and residents of the city aren't displaced like the people of Penley Apartments, or fighting for Raquel, who was shot and killed by a city lifeguard. Carmen was a force to be reckoned with, never backing down from the opportunity to set the record straight. If you ever found yourself in her crosshairs, you knew her relentless approach and research would shed light on nefarious political injustices using the skills she learned while training to become a paralegal, using her knowledge of legalese to hold elected officials accountable to the people to whom which elected them. Carmen, you are and forever will be a hero in my eyes. It has been said that a well-behaved woman rarely makes history. I proudly, with a heavy heart, celebrate all that you have given of yourself to make this city fair, accessible, and equitable for our people. As you approach those pearly gates, I'm sure you will hear, "Well done, thy good and faithful servant of the people." Rest in power, Carmen Brown. I love you and will miss you.
Thank you. That exhausts our list of registered speakers. If there is anyone who would like to speak, you can approach the podium.
Good afternoon, Special Agent Sunshine, again. Let me pray. Dear God, thank you for your amazing work in my life. Please help me be a testimony for you because of all you've done for me. The promise I have comes from self-worth. It's in 1 Corinthians 4, 1-4. It says, people should think of us as servants of Christ, the ones God has trusted with his secrets. Now, in this way, those who are trusted with something valuable must show they are worthy of that trust. As for myself, I do not care if I am judged by you or by any human court. I do not even judge myself. The Lord is the one who judges me. The wisdom for today comes from Proverbs 14:19. It says, evildoers will bow down in the presence of the good, and the wicked at the gates of the righteous. These children out here are really suffering at the hands of adults who are blocking their blessings. And I'm seeing it more and more, and it's really, really disturbing me, which is why I have to speak on it. It's sad because they don't have any control. But a heart of gratitude is always overflowing with praise. And that's why I praise God, and that's why I'm still here, because of my praise and worship in the Most High God, who has given me life. He gives life and death. He's the creator of all. God is so good to us, and he deserves our thanks daily. But we should also be motivated to share with others about the good things God is doing now and what we know he'll do for us in the future. Those around you need the hope that God can bring into their lives, and your sharing about how good God has been to you might just open the door for you to encourage them to share with you and others what he has done in their lives. If you are not spending at least an hour a day with the Most High God, you do not have a relationship with him. And my question to you is, what or who is more important than the one that gives you life? I'll wait. Don't let fear keep you from being a living testimony for something amazing God has done in your life. Be sensitive to the Holy Spirit leading you to the one who needs to hear and see your testimony for the Lord. A lot of people are starting to see and hear me because I'm literally on the street showing them the favor of God in my life after you guys have taken everything in my real name from me. But what God has for me is for me. So you'll have to give it back. Now, you can give it to me willingly, or he'll force you to do it by taking your life, for taking it. The ancestors that left it for me are not playing with y'all. I promise you they're not. Jesus, thank you for using me as a vessel to do your will, not mine. Amen.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Cheryl Stevens. I'm a resident of Aspinwall and the Community Organizing Manager for Pittsburghers for Public Transit. The City of Pittsburgh has never before had a comprehensive plan, one that anticipates and supports vibrant and determined development while ensuring that no communities are left behind. A citywide comprehensive plan that needs to identify a set of shared goals and lay out a legible and forward-facing blueprint for our future. No one would disagree that our current patchwork of zoning and planning policies kind of put together over decades is often in conflict with itself and fails to address the needs of our resident today. And that's why we as Pittsburghers for Public Transit have long called for a Pittsburgh comprehensive plan. It's a part of our 100-day transit platform that then Mayor-elect Gainey, when he took office in 2022, we called for this plan. And we need the city to be a strong partner to our public transit system by championing zoning for denser, accessible, and genuinely affordable development by public transit to ensure that riders are not displaced far away from some of our best transit assets in our region. As transit riders, we are eager to have a plan in place beginning next summer, 2026, that would ensure that the City of Pittsburgh is thoughtfully integrating housing, transportation, and development to begin to remedy some of the past harms, in particular to our low-income families, Black communities, older adults, and neighbors with disabilities, and to have a clear plan towards building the welcoming city that we all deserve. We support the Common Cause consultants and the robust community engagement with residents and RCOs over the past summer and into the next. It is discouraging to see that we've come so far and to put us in an unstable position by last-minute disruptions to this monumental project. We cannot afford to waste the funds that have already been allocated toward this critical planning work, nor can we afford to reject the voices of Pittsburghers who have expressed their feedback in this process for over half the year. So we're asking you to please vote no to the cancellation of the Common Cause contract in the final stage of its completion. The thousands of residents who have participated in this project have anticipated that this plan moves forward deserve an equitable region and the cancellation of this contract would also cancel their voices. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please. Are there any further speakers? Seeing none, we will move on to our standing committee's agenda. And we will take it a bit out of order today, moving first to our Public Safety and Wellness Committee. You can find that on page 12 of your agenda, the bottom of page 12. We have new papers, Bill 2481.
Resolution authorizing the mayor, the director of the Office of Management and Budget, and the Department of Public Safety to enter into an agreement or agreements with Norfolk Southern's Safety First Grant for the purpose of receiving grant funds in the amount of $15,000 to purchase non-fluorinated firefighting foam.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of Bill 2481, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Affirmative recommendation. Thank you very much. That takes us back to the top of our agenda with the Finance and Law Committee. Supplemental new papers, Bill 2535.
Resolution amending Resolution 51 of 2025, which authorized the mayor and the director of city planning to extend a professional services agreement with Bromberg and Associates LLC for effective communication services by exercising the contract option to extend the term for 6 months and by increasing the total spend by $75,000 for a new total not to exceed $703,976.
Read them both together, maybe?
Motion to approve.
No, not this one. Motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of Bill 2535, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Affirmative recommendation. New papers. We can read these two together, Madam Chair, 2482 and 2483.
Bill 2482, resolution authorizing and directing the mayor, solicitor, director of planning, and director of the Office of Management and Budget pursuant to 204K of the Home Rule Charter to provide appropriate notice and terminate the contract with Sasaki and Common Cause Consultants per Article 3.2, termination of the agreement, and Bill 2483, resolution authorizing and directing the mayor, solicitor, director of planning, and director of Office of Management and Budget pursuant to 204K of the Pittsburgh Home Rule Charter to provide appropriate notice and terminate the contract with HR&A Advisors and Urban AC LLC per Article 3.2, termination of the agreements.
Motion to approve, brief discussion.
Second.
Brief discussion, Councilman Coghill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First and foremost, I wanted to say that I understand the public's concern when they see this legislation. But I want to just take a moment to explain my intent of this. Okay, so the intent of this legislation was not to scrap the comprehensive plan. In fact, I am very much a proponent as to I want to finish it, and I want it to be adopted by council unanimously, and I hope we can get to that point. The intent was just simply to reevaluate exactly where we are with the plan as to how much monies are left, how much are owed, and how much will be remaining. And also more engagement with council. I want to thank Dr. Bay for meeting with me on Sunday. I think we had a very productive meeting, and I want to thank our council president for helping mediate the situation to Dr. Bay and others. But it simply is a reevaluation, and through our conversations, we've agreed that the planning director and his team will sharpen their pencil, see where, if possible, I'm hoping possible, that there are savings that can come back to the operating budget. However, without affecting the effectiveness of the plan, so we don't know where that's at yet. We do know that there was some $2.3 million left on the table at this point, and this is in no way a reflection of the planning department's work that they've done to this point, and it is in no way a reflection of the contractors or companies that the planning department has been negotiating with or is under contract with. So we've agreed to meet on October 4th with when the planning department and Dr. Bay and his team could get a better and a more clear picture as to, exactly what monies are left and where we are in the entire situation. So once we get that clear picture, I think then council will deliberate and we will decide as to what we feel, if we agree with the team, and moving forward, if, again, I'm hoping there is some monies that we can get back in the operating budget. At the same time, I hope Dr. Bay and his team can finish the plan where it doesn't compromise its integrity and the council can pass it unanimously. So that was the intent. I understand the, people's notions that it was trying to scrap it. We're too far into the plan. We're moving into phase 5, finishing up phase 4. The monies are 2/3 of the way spent at this point. So for me, and personally, there is no going back. I've conveyed this, I think, to most council members at this point. And I know council members will want to weigh in as to what they feel and what they expect in phase 5. And we will have that opportunity after we get the report back from the Planning Commission. So we will have it in, whether it's 2 sessions, so there's no quorum, and other council members will weigh in. So my intent is to hold this for 2 weeks today and, meet October 4th. Did I say October 4th? That meant December 4th, yeah. So meet December 4th and, just to get a clear picture as to where things are, and then we can make an educated decision then as to what monies need to be expended, what monies can possibly be drawn back, and what we want out of the plan moving forward. So, well, with that, I will open it up to other members, but my intent is, after conversation, if there is any more conversation, is to hold it for 2 weeks, and I ask council to please oblige in that, and then we can get a more clear picture, because we really don't have one as of yet, but I look forward to those ongoing talks. Again, thank you, Dr. Bay. Thank you to the administration also, and our council president and council members who have also helped and chimed in and made known what their wishes are. So with that, I will open up to the floor, or back to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Councilwoman Cale Smith.
Thank you. I just want to thank you, Councilman Coghill, for your willingness to work through this. And I'm just going to say again, I didn't vote for this plan, and I didn't vote for a lot of things, but I will say I'm supportive of things that we can afford. And I want to thank Council President LaValle. I didn't know that he and Dr. Bay and you had a meeting. I think that's great. And Dr. Bay and I have had our own conversations. And I do want to thank you because you're always willing to talk to people and ready to sit down and have those conversations. But I'm going to be honest, I feel like sometimes the community feels like we're questioning money going predominantly to the black communities. And it does feel that way, because when we're talking about some of the things that we're questioning, it's grant funding for Stop the Violence, it's grant funding for this plan. It's different things, but it's also, I think that if we're going to have this conversation, we should be having and should be including everybody who gets grant funding, and that includes nonprofits, Tree Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh Parks Conservancy. The list is endless. There are a lot of people that get funding from the city of Pittsburgh, and the fact of the matter is we cannot afford everything that we're doing right now. And I mean, to the mayor's credit, he did not raise taxes, and I'm grateful for that, because I think we have people struggling all over. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't sit down now and try to figure out where we can cut back, or at least freeze temporarily, so that our residents aren't overburdened again with another increase. They've had their school district tax increase, they've had the county tax increase, their groceries are going up through the roof. Everything that they're paying for, the residents could barely take it anymore, their utilities. And that's the other thing, maybe utilities shouldn't be allowed to donate money to campaigns, because they do. And so I think that, you're seeing their increases, going by with no fanfare and nobody questioning too much. But our residents are really struggling, and I just feel like it's up to us now to look at where we can cut back and either just freeze for a little bit, or do what we have to do to try to cut some programs out. But For this one, we already spent a lot of money, so I think, like you said, we want to see a result for that money that was spent. But I think it would be great to have the controller give us an audit of where she might suggest that we could cut back and where she thinks that we could do some things, working with the administration and with council. It'd be great for us all to sit down and do something. I mean, like adults, try to figure out a budget like we do when we're at home. This is not our money, this is our taxpayer, and they trust us to do things right with this money. So I just hope that we can come up with some solutions that make everyone feel like they're at the table and part of the solution and not part of a problem. But I do think that we need to look at everyone, not just one section of funding that we're looking at between, the Stop the Violence, the food justice, the, Parks Conservancy. I just feel like there's a lot that we can be looking at, and there's millions of dollars that we're, distributing across the city, and it's coming from our residents, from the residents that people come in here and say that their voices are not being heard. It's coming from them. They're the ones paying these, and so I think if you're going to have an honest conversation, it should be that we're also hurting everyone when we raise taxes, and that's anyone who lives in the city who pays taxes. And unfortunately, we don't have enough. And we keep hearing that the incoming mayor may be able to work together with the nonprofit community to get another pilot program in place. So we shouldn't even be thinking about raising taxes until we cut back where we have to cut back, and seeing whether or not there is an agreement with the nonprofit community. And I know that there's a lot of people that want to continue the services and do things, but our residents, our wishes come at their expense. And so I think we can't put our political agenda before the people we represent. So I just want to say that I hope that we have some real conversations about how everybody can, cut back, including us. So, in our offices. So I think that it's a conversation that we have to have. But I do want to thank you, because I'm glad that you're having the conversations and glad that you're meeting with people and trying to come up with some solutions. I do appreciate that, so thank you.
Thank you. Councilperson Warbeck.
Thank you, Councilman. I do want to say that with this, it is not just one group of council people that have concerns with this plan. I have concerns with this plan. We were sold a $6 million plan with the understanding that the outreach would be so extensive to 90 neighborhoods, and that we would be drawing in people from all over the city that we have been unable to engage with until this time. I've been to the citywide workshops. They are wonderful, right? I sat at the round table. These conversations are valuable. We are gaining good information. I am far more skeptical about the tabling events and all that, but we went through that already. The question is, what comes next, right? What are we doing between now and a year from now to, add to the data that we have gathered so far? So I will say this now, as sort of a precursor to the full discussion of this bill when it comes to the table. I want to see one of those citywide workshops in every single ward. In every single ward. I don't want my residents in Glen Hazel to have to get on a shuttle bus driven by an unpaid community person so that they can attend a meeting in the West End. Now, I'm all for everyone from the city being invited to every meeting, and I think that that's valuable to have neighborhoods interacting, but that's too far for my residents in Glen. They should not have to go to the West End. And I've asked for this numerous times, and I have yet to see, I think, a single citywide meeting, even in my whole district, much less in each of my wards. So that's what I want to see, these meetings, which are wonderful meetings. I have participated in them, but they have to be happening in every part of the city in a way that is accessible to all residents. And there needs to be deep outreach to make sure that, that's going to mean door knocking. It's going to mean transportation. Maybe it's going to mean mailers for some neighborhoods, right? It's going to be different for every neighborhood. But that is what we paid for. That is what we paid $6 million for, was so that not our city planning teams, who have their own work themselves, not our community groups, who are not contracted under this plan, it is for the organization running the outreach to do the outreach in a way that gets to not the folks that we see at all the meetings. And we want to get feedback from everyone, and we love our folks who are always engaged on city issues. That's great. But we want to hear from the folks who we never hear from. And you don't hear from them by just sort of the same old channels or social media. That's not how you get there, or marketing campaigns or films or whatnot. That is for me what I want to see. And you know, I also want to see, understanding that City Council has deep concerns about this plan at this next meeting, I would like to see the folks who are conducting the work at this table to talk about it. And maybe there's something we're missing. And if we're missing something, that's fine, right? But come here and explain it to us. So, I don't know. I do want to see this plan completed. I want to see it written, but I want to also better understand, because I have not seen the activity on this plan, at least in my district, right, in my most vulnerable communities. And I sold this plan. I went around to my community meetings at the beginning of this year, every single community meeting, and I sold this plan because I was excited for it. But I have yet to see it manifest, at least in my communities. So I'm just going to say that as sort of a prep, just sort of kind of lay out what it is that, at least for me, that I'm gonna want to see when this comes back to the table. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councilwoman Gross.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you to my other colleagues for working on this as well. I mean, again, for the record, I also voted no on this when it first came in front of council, and I've said this many times, so I'll just say it quickly. We did research on all of our 14 benchmark cities, and we looked up every comprehensive plan we could find. If anyone has more information out there about cities who have paid $20 per capita for a comprehensive plan, please let me know. The highest we could find was $5 per person, which would put Pittsburgh's total plan at like $1.5 million for consultants. Again, these are external costs, right? But that one was entirely foundation funded. So $0 out of their actual general fund. Every other city that we can find is paid $1 or $2 per capita, which would make even cities our size or cities bigger than ours, the check to consultants at that rate for Pittsburgh would be like $300,000 total for the whole comp plan, or $600,000. So that our costs, like the checks we're writing to consultants, is just so astronomical. And I've asked colleagues in other cities. I've kind of put out to like national newsletter types, lists that I'm on of people who are city council members in other places. How much was your comp plan? What is this? And the only response I've gotten is, that's outrageous what you're paying. It's insane. So I'm still, I hear my colleagues' concerns about the outreach, but I think I've asked for the traffic on the back end of a website, which I understand is actually very easy to do. It's not that I can personally do it, but you should be able to look up this website that you've paid for, the 2050 plan, look at the traffic counts and send them to my office for analysis. I don't have them. It's been about a week or so. Because I think I called out that, in the public presentations, and I think even to this moment, it says on that website that there's 30,000 people that have participated, but it could very plausibly be 1,000 people who've participated each 30 times. And we don't know because that's not transparent to us yet. We need that information. And so while there are, and I've heard from them, and there are many people I respect who I've talked to or I will talk to have reached out to me about this. I get it, but you need to understand that we're also being told at the same time that we need to slash $30 million out of this budget by the end of the end of December, sorry. None of us can get our month straight here. And that's people's jobs, or it's city facilities closed, or it's, your trash being picked up once every 2 weeks instead of every week, right? And so there are decisions that we need to make, and probably some of them will be not popular. Some of you are going to be mad at us about some of these decisions. So I went on longer than I intended. That's I'll leave it there. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councilman Mosley.
Yeah, I want to thank the members and the various conversations we've been having over the past couple of weeks about this issue. I've expressed in community meetings over the past few weeks, my support for the comprehensive plan and the spirit of the comprehensive plan, while understanding the very valid concerns around the table, particularly around, the fiscal challenges that the city is facing, as well as some of the points that Councilwoman Gross brings up. I do think that the team at City Planning, in particular, has worked extremely hard on this, and this is, I think, an example of the tough decisions we have to make and the challenging decisions that we have to wrestle with as a body. I think that's part of, obviously, what we sign up for when we circulate petitions and put our names on the ballot. So I'm looking forward to hearing more. I appreciate the very voluminous document that was put on my desk last week. I think it's about the size of a phone book. I look forward to looking through that. I look forward to the ongoing discussions that we're going to have. I want to thank Councilman Coghill for being willing to sit down with Director Bay. I want to thank Director Bay as well. And I really look forward to the conversations to take a deep dive into, are the concerns that we've heard around the table valid or not, or, is the representation of the work that's been done, real or not. I have seen a lot of organizing happening in the circles that I travel in from. I don't know if any of the other members are frequent faces at Slappers and Bangers, but I attend as many Slappers and Bangers as I can. And I've seen work being done there and work being done in a variety of places that, one might say you would run into the unusual suspects. But I'm not going to put myself in a position to say, on the record that I can speak on, the work of the consultants and speak on the work of city planning. I'll let them do that for themselves. But I do think that it is going to be extremely productive and valuable for us to really take that deep dive, and hear directly from the folks who've done the work, so then we can make an educated, decision about how we need to move forward based on the fiscal challenges the city has, as well as, the need that the city has to look forward. And that was one of the reasons why I did support the plan. Obviously, I did recuse myself on the community engagement part because of my affiliation with One Hood. But overall, the spirit of what the plan is about, I think as a city that has looked back for so long to the good old days of the steel industry in the 50s and the 60s, and all the stories we've all heard about Pittsburgh, in the golden age of Pittsburgh, so to speak, that it was refreshing for me for the first time to be a part of a process that is actually looking forward for the first time, but also understanding again the very real concerns from folks around this table that I have high respect for, as well as concerns that we hear from the community. I know, at least from a very unscientific poll, I think the residents that I represent are by and large in support of the comprehensive plan, at least from the emails and the phone calls, as well as the social media posts that I see, even though that isn't scientific. As someone who, used to do scientific political polls, I'm not going to go on record, and say that, District 9 is in full support of the comprehensive plan. But I do know that a lot of the organizations and people that have been involved with it are in support of it, and have a ton of respect for them, as well as a ton of respect for the folks around this table who have asked, I think, very valid questions and are, I think, taking their jobs as stewards of the city finances, and our role as council members extremely seriously, and that is not to be minimized. So I just say that let's move forward with the process of doing our fact finding, and then we could draw the conclusion of how to best move forward. But again, I want to thank members for all their questions and all the conversations. I think me and Councilwoman Gross have spent about maybe 5 hours of conversations in the last 10 days talking about this issue, and I think that's healthy. I think that it reminds me of something I say all the time. One of my mentors, told me that, in this line of work, we have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And I think this is an example of that uncomfortability. But I hope that, we can get to a place where we can have some consensus as a body, and give the folks who've done the work the opportunity to share the work that they've done. And then we can make an educated decision about how to move forward. So as uncomfortable as this may be, I do think this is a healthy process we're partaking in.
Thank you. Any further speakers? Councilperson Charlin.
Yes, thank you. And I'll be quick here. I think a lot of other members said kind of what I have been getting at here. And I really want to say, especially Councilwoman Warwick, you and I very much are in lockstep with kind of our disappointment in how the engagement was supposed to look here. I did vote for this when it originally came before us. I was expecting this process to look very different than it has looked at this point. And I'm a little frustrated with how, who has been engaged and what are actually getting out of this that is unique and actually tailored for Pittsburgh. This is supposed to be Pittsburgh's plan, and it thus far seems like a plan for a Rust Belt Midwestern city. That's kind of what we're seeing here. I do have a question though. I understand that we're gonna hold everything until December 4th, and then it'll come back to us. And I probably am asking for some interrogatory here. Will any expenses be paid in that time or before it comes back to us for a vote?
Interrogatory.
May I answer? Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Councilman Charlin. To your question, we did have that conversation, and Dr. Bay and the administration has agreed to not make any real major expenses without completely halting it. And we didn't put a number or a figure on that, but they've agreed to be sensitive to what our concerns are until December 4th, when we can sit down and, and then report back to the rest of council, of course, their findings. So we didn't put a hold on everything or anything, but they have agreed as to not making any big expenses.
So there's about 2.6 left, right?
2.3.
2.3, okay. So there should be 2.3 when it comes back to us?
Well, I would say more than 2, certainly.
Yeah.
And we could call Dr. Bay to the table if you'd like.
Sure.
Okay, come on up here, Dr. Bay. We did not put a specific number on it, I will tell you that. But we did bring up the conversation, and Dr. Bay and his team agreed that, and the administration, that we will not be making any major expenses without grinding things to a complete halt.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, if it's up to me, of course. Yeah, of course.
Absolutely, Andrew.
I'm really just asking for a quick answer. Yeah.
Can I add one thing before we move on? There was originally, you said 2.6. It was actually 2.5 that we identified as monies left. Of that 2.5, about $300,000 of that was committed or work had been done where we actually owe the bill. And Dr. Bay will, elaborate if he needs to. But again, in this conversation, we said no major expenses. We didn't really put a number on it because I didn't want to grind you to a complete halt. But no major expenses mean to me, we could try to put a number on it, but that's where we ended it.
I'm just hoping, through the holiday and stuff, there's.
I don't want to breach protocol.
Introduce yourself.
Jamil Bey, Director of City Planning. And to your question, what we had discussed was, since this was not a stop work order, and understanding the holidays are coming up, that we were expected to just continue to proceed without taking on any new work just proceeding through some of the work that we were planning to have done by the end of the year that was already outlined in phase 4. And the number that we initially gave you during the budget hearing or the post-agenda, I'm not sure which one, that number was where we were as of the September invoices. So there were outstanding invoices that came in the following month, and the November invoice is not in yet. And so the exact number, I'm not sure where we are, and Andrew has a more solid.
No, I think that's right. And that the 2.5 million was before those invoices. In that time we did do another round of public engagement, through the scenario planning exercises. So, there is obviously some cost to that, and we can get the amount of, the cost after those invoices to City Council.
And I think it would also be helpful for us to see how much actually doing the scenario planning, exercises actually do cost us. So that could be helpful to break this out. And I hope that's kind of what you're planning on coming back to us with in 2 weeks with, or, in the briefing with, to say, this is what this part costs, All
right, so to clarify my understanding of what's going to happen over the next 10 days, just so that we are on the same page. We've identified December 4th as a date where a few of us would be able to get together with a few council members, planning and the consultants, to sort of go through where are things, what are if our goal is that we want to have a plan that is adoptable, that has buy-in and support of council, the incoming administration, the public, and is implementable, then there are some things that we can't just eliminate. So we wanted to identify those things, identify where there are areas where we think we can scale back, identify areas where planning can take a different role, and set expectations that if planners are going to be doing that work, what work is not going to be done, or what work will be limited, that, just as our ongoing work. And so we wanted to make sure we were on the same page with that December 4th. And then at that point, the councilman, council president, and whomever else is in that meeting will sort of then proceed with the next process and engagement with council as to how we proceed with where we are at that point.
Okay. I think what I would also like to hear about in that meeting is what would happen if we go from this point forward in-house. So I think that I hope that you're prepared to answer that question at that point.
So at the December 4th, those will be the kind of questions. If we need, if those goals that we have an adoptable plan, what can we do in-house and what can we just not do in-house? And if we don't do that, if the plan is that it's completely in-house, what's going to be eliminated? Those are the things that we'll have to identify. But if we eliminate those things, then, that's what the body agrees will be eliminated. What the councilman and I yesterday really, what we harped on was that this is too big for planning to decide what should be eliminated, that council has to help us think through, and we all have to live with, okay, this is what the plan is going to include and this is what it's not. That to give it back to us and say, fix it at this price point, we couldn't do that because there are some trade-offs that really council needs to participate in.
Okay. Yeah. I guess just the way that I would like to structure this is that I don't want to ask the question on December 4th. I'm asking the question now, and I'm hoping that there's an answer on December 4th.
Which question is that specific?
What it will look like to move everything in-house. I want you to be prepared to answer that.
Okay. Well, I can answer that now. It will look like a project that we don't have the ability in-house to finalize a project that will be adoptable.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That's really all from me there. I just, looking at our budget, and unfortunately, these are the kind of things that don't happen in a vacuum. Almost 2 years ago when we agreed on this, I think that, we're thinking that there was going to be other cost cutting associated with the city as a whole, that we were going to be able to make this work. Right now, if we're able to pull back $2 million out of this project, that's $2 million we don't have to raise taxes. That's $2 million we don't have to to lay people off. That's $2 million we don't have to cut from other funds right now. So, I think that's got to be our priority as stewards of the city right here. So, thank you.
It's council's decision. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Second round? Or was there any further first round? Second round, Councilman Coghill.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify, as Dr. Bay articulated, December 4th, we'll get kind of a report from Dr. Bay and his team as to what expenses they have that they feel that they need to finish this plan, and all the other expenses that are promised or under contract. It will then be in our hands as council, and then we will report to council as to the findings and present it just as Dr. Bay presents it to us. And then we will have our decision to make whether we want to proceed with Dr. Bay's recommendation or what cuts we want to make, how much we want to cut back, how much money do we want to save. But to be clear, Dr. Bay, and I think it's a valid question that Councilman Charlin asked, could we agree to not incur any further expenses until December 4th meeting, and just follow up on what's left of phase 4 and those contracts, the monies that are being spent? We're not going to incur any further costs, meaning we're not going to write a check for $500,000 or any checks basically until then. Is that fair?
So you're saying we're not planning any new engagements or anything?
Right. That's what I'm saying. Right. We're
Right.
not going
Right.
under contract.
There's
We're
nothing
not cutting
else.
any new checks. You already articulated that there's about $300,000 of that $2.5 million that needs to go out the door. I understand that completely. So just wanted to clarify that as well, because I know other council members had that same question.
And December 4th is a small meeting. This is not, right, so just to be clear, we're not reporting out to full council or having a full engagement at council.
Yeah.
That's the first chance that we were able to schedule a few of us together to sort through this.
Right.
So,
And since the president and I were, well, that's what I was going to say. The council president and I agreed that we would meet December 4th and we would have your initial findings or report basically. And then the council president and I, whether we schedule with Dr. Bay or schedule it, on our own time, we will convey that to council.
Yeah, I'm just going to say I think council deserves a briefing. We're making votes here for everyone, so I think we also deserve. It shouldn't be a backroom deal. It should be a conversation.
No, Councilwoman, I agree with you 100%. This is just preliminarily so they could show
I'm
us
just
what
saying.
they have without.
We want to hear too.
Yeah.
right, that's,
Yeah. That's the full intent is,
Thank
of
you.
course, to
It
brief
wasn't directed
all
to you.
members. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Councilperson Warwick.
I'd also just as you prepare for that, to the extent possible, because again, I want to reiterate that this plan was sold to us as, we were paying this money to hire a consultant to do all of this work because our own planning team did not have the bandwidth to do the work. So I would like to know how many hours our own planning team has spent on this comp plan to date.
That's a good question.
So if you could do your best to include that in the report. Thank you.
Do you have that information?
Any further discussion? Councilwoman? Any further discussion? I want to thank those who have been having these conversations behind the scenes and doing the work. Councilman Coghill, Council President Lavelle. I'm sure there are others, and everyone's been having many conversations, but sort of having these conversations to move these bills along, and look forward to a new year where all council members can be working with the consultants, with city planning on exactly the right plan for their wards, their districts, and really, ensuring that the engagement that needs to happen is happening. With that, we have a motion to hold bills 2482 and 2483 for 2 weeks. And a second. All those in favor of a 2-week hold, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Bills will be held for 2 weeks. Thank you.
Did we officially make that motion? Did I? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
I apologize.
No, I didn't
You
know
did.
if I officially
You
made
motioned
that or
to, when we were discussing, so I was jumping ahead
motion
of
to hold for 2 weeks.
Second.
discussion on the motion. All those in favor of a 2-week hold on bills 2482 and 2483, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Now bills will
Thank
be
you
held
all
for
for
2
working
weeks.
on
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bill 2485.
Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Resolution amending Resolution 63 of 2025, which provided for an agreement or agreements with Center for Hearing and Deaf Services, Inc. and Global Wordsmiths by increasing the authorized spend for Global Wordsmith by $19,000 for services through June 2026 for a new total cost not to exceed $117,000 over 4.5 years.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of Bill 2485, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Affirmative recommendation. Bill 2486.
Resolution amending Resolution 413 of 2025, which authorized the mayor and the city solicitor to enter into a professional services agreement with Block and Associates for legal services in connection with the current city construction project by increasing the contract amount by $20,000 for a new total not to exceed $60,000 over 1 year.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion?
Who's it with?
Councilwoman Kale Smith?
I'm just sorry, who's the contract with?
Block and Associates.
Thank you.
Further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of Bill 2486, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Affirmative recommendation. Bill 2487.
Resolution amending Resolution 519 of 2025, which authorized the mayor and the city solicitor to enter into a professional services agreement with Buchanan, Ingersoll, and Rooney, P.C. for legal consulting services in connection with complex real property litigation and related matters by increasing the contract amount by $55,000 for a new not-to-exceed amount of $130,000 over 1 year.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion.
Councilperson Charlin.
Yes. Solicitor Exelis, I realize now, and I apologize for not getting back to you on this earlier. I did ask for some follow-up on this, which I don't know that you can give me now. I'm curious if it's something we should hold for a week. Sorry. I apologize for not giving you a heads up on this. I didn't catch this until, I didn't really think about this until right now.
Jesse Exlos, acting city solicitor. Actually, when I looked into it, that firm is not who I was telling you. It's a different firm.
Interesting.
But I will get you more information on that.
This is for a different case?
Yes.
Okay.
But I'll get you more information on that. If you want to hold it, it's fine. It's not a big deal for me. So.
Is that okay if we hold for a week? Members be okay with that?
For me in particular, this one, the timeline isn't too crazy, so I'm fine with that, if that makes you feel more comfortable. So.
Okay, thank you. I would appreciate that. Motion to hold for a week?
Second.
Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of a 1-week hold on Bill 2487, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Bill will be held for 1 week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Bill 2488.
Resolution providing for the issuance of a warrant in favor of Pittsburgh Community Reinvestment Group in the amount of $75,000 for community reinvestment analysis for city depositories for 2022, 23, and 24.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second with discussion.
Discussion, Councilwoman Kale Smith.
So do we have someone here to talk about this? Because I see this every year. It's PCRG getting the same contract, and they come here, public comment, and speak, and we're supposed to think that one has nothing to do with the other. So I'd like to know a little bit of details about it. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Jen Gula. I'm the Director of Finance and City Treasurer.
Thank you, Director.
So you're not wrong. We've talked about this many times before.
Yeah.
It was up for RFP. We issued an RFP. They were awarded the RFP. And this is actual services and analysis on lending data and community reinvestment information for the depository services contract. So they're related. And these are for prior years, actually. So they were awarded. There's a contract that's literally sitting in DocuSign that's having trouble being executed because of insurance papers and whatnot, but they've already performed the work and they need to be paid. Wow. So, but going forward, a lot of this too has come from the fact that in finance, we didn't have people that could actually do this kind of data analysis, and now we do. So going forward, in fact, this year, they are not doing the work on the information that's being put forth to the Reinvestment Review Committee for the Depository Services contract. It's coming.
I just think that I
from the
hear this
finance.
group a lot, and to me, it's been here for a long time. Before I got here, I had questions when they worked in my district, moved them out of my district because they weren't doing what, at the time, what we were assured was going to happen. And then I came here, and then they were involved in the Housing Opportunity Fund. They're advocating down here all the time, but yet they're receiving funding. And so when we're talking about grants and money going to people, this is one of those organizations I have concerns with.
Well, I just cut them out.
Yeah, I hear you just cut them out. I hear that. But I won't be here to see if that's actually accurate,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
I'm ready
Well,
to return.
you will, because we actually, my financial analysts have actually done the report for this year. So we had put the depository services RFP out earlier in the year, and we're ready to put the information in front of the review committee early in December. So my
I
group
actually wish
actually
we
did
would
the
put
report.
something in place. If somebody's receiving public dollars, they shouldn't be involved in politics. They shouldn't be involved in coming down to council. They shouldn't be promoting all the things that they're coming down here. We had the Housing Opportunity Fund, and all those people, remember with the Housing Opportunity Fund, all those people came in for the Housing Opportunity Fund. They swore at the podium that they weren't coming, they were never going to receive funding. Then they're all on the board, and they're all receiving funding. So,
Well-
I mean, it's just, no, it's that whole idea of the nonprofits in Pittsburgh. I think we have a nonprofit problem, and it's not just with the big nonprofits. It's what we're expecting the city's tax dollars to go pay for and to sustain nonprofits, and that's not the responsibility of taxpayers. So for me, that's an issue. But I'm going to shut up about this one, but I'm going to say, in general, I did call for a post-agenda on nonprofits in the city, and I'm going to show some correlation between the activism and the funding that comes along with it. So I'll probably get that scheduled soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councilwoman Gross.
Just briefly, absolutely. Just to revisit, the community reinvestment analysis is how banks are lending in certain census tracts. It's a federal requirement that banks report.
It is. It's part of, they're required to report their lending activity to the federal government every year. And they're also awarded, they do a community reinvestment study, and they get a ranking from the government, which says...
Who's they? The
No,
feds?
the banks do. The financial institutions are required to turn this information over.
Into the federal government?
Yes.
And then the
they're
federal
actually
government ranks them?
They get issued a score, yes. And part of our depository services contract, banks can't actually contract with the city unless they're at least satisfactory or higher. So...
Okay, so this is like, again, this is Community Reinvestment Act is a federal act. I don't remember what year it was.
Oh.
60s, 70s, 80s? I don't remember. I've lost track of history. Let's say 80s.
It's probably 80s, I think.
And then, so that we can already look up the Pittsburgh banks or anyone who responds to be one of our depositories. And do we restrict our depositories to Pittsburgh-based banks? I've forgotten that part as well.
So the actual legislation does not restrict, it doesn't restrict a bank from becoming a depository, but what it could do is limit our actual engagement with them. But our community reinvestment information specifically requests our census tracts as like in the data. So what they turn over to the federal government is everything, right? But if they don't have a presence here, then obviously that data is going to be missing from what they turn over to us. We
Okay,
get
great.
zeros.
No, I'm totally following
So,
this now. It
yeah.
was a little confusing at first. Okay, so this is really helpful. And I just want to emphasize that you're going to bring that in-house.
Yep.
Because now we have the capacity to GIS map things. We can do census tract boundaries, and we know what census tracts are in the, and it sounds crazy because citizens can do this, but that we actually have the kind of skill sets in-house to look at it. So we're going to look at banks who apply to hold our money. These are our deposit accounts. By their level of investment in actually Pittsburgh.
Yes.
And before we were having to pay some outside people to do that, and now we can do that ourselves. Because, again, the information on the federal government might be like their investment activity nationwide.
It is. It's everything.
Okay, or whatever states they operate in or that kind of thing. So, okay, cool. This is really helpful because I'm very much in support of us giving better scores. Again, we want to make sure the banks are safe. We want to make sure the banks are responsible and, meet our needs as an account holder. But that also, I am totally in support of us ranking more highly banks that are actually reinvesting in city residents. And is that mortgage and business?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yep. Wonderful. I think that's enough for today, but I'm really, and again, just another shout out to how much progress has been made in the Department of Finance and your capacities and bringing kind of really, helpful data analysis, either of internal city processes or processes like this, so that we can make better policy decisions. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you. That's all, Madam Chair.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of Bill 2488, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Affirmative recommendation.
No.
One no. Bill 2489.
Resolution providing for the issuance of a warrant in favor of Belfour USA Group, Inc. in the amount of $33,314.96 for hauling and clean-out services related to properties in the pallet home buying program.
Second.
Discussion?
Discussion report?
Councilman Wilson.
All right, thanks. I just want to say I'm happy to see this because I know when we were talking about whether or not the houses will be cleaned out this is the for sale program that the city's running, that I was just trying to express what the land bank has learned. So I appreciate you coordinating with the land bank on some of this and seeing that you'll spend the money to clean out the properties, because there's a lot going on in those properties for people to not, they shouldn't have to deal with looking at all that stuff, and they should just be able to look at the property. So good to see this. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilwoman Cale Smith.
I want to thank them because these properties were all in District 2.
Microphone.
I want to thank them as well because the properties were all in District 2, which you never see District 2 in the whole thing. But, and they're all in neighborhoods that really have been waiting for something like this, so thank you. Do you want to say something? What? You guys saying something down there, the East End people and north side, with that north side?
Thank you. Thanks for pointing that out, Councilwoman. Any further discussion?
Thank you. No, just thank you.
Seeing none, all those in favor of Bill 2489, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Affirmative recommendation. That moves us on to invoices. Is there a motion on invoices?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of invoices, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Affirmative recommendation. We have, apologies, I'm not used to having paper in front of me. We do have transfers. Motion to approve interdepartmental transfers. Please indicate by saying,
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion on transfers? Seeing none, all those in favor of interdepartmental transfers, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Transfers are approved. Move on to P cards. Is there a motion on P cards?
So moved.
Second.
with discussion.
Councilwoman Cale Smith.
Thank you. Is there anything on here that we should be concerned with like last week?
I
we
can
know?
say for myself, a quick glance did not show any, what looked like to be any
No professional services?
professional services. Would you like to call our budget director to the table?
Yes, please. And I'd like to know who is overseeing these to make sure we're in legal compliance. I want to know who's doing that.
In our office, on our hall, side of the hallway, I can confirm that both Budget Director McDevitt and Assistant Director Walmsley.
Yeah, but we're paying
review
somebody
it each
legal
week.
fee. We're paying somebody for legal advice here. I know she's not an attorney yet, but she is almost. Well, she finished school, I believe, but she didn't take her bars yet. We're paying her what we paid a 17-year professional in our law department. We're paying her more than we paid him, or the same as what we paid him. And I want to know, is she doing this work? Is she looking at this? Is she looking to make sure we're legally compliant to make sure these things, because it shouldn't, you're not an attorney, you are a budget director, and I appreciate what you do.
Hi, Pete
But it's not-
McDevitt.
But
City
it's
Council
not
Bus
just
Driver.
you.
Yeah, I'm not an attorney, neither is Kirsten. That is not something that we've spoken with anybody else about. They should be reviewing this. So from our side of the floor, like, we're looking at it to make sure it's in compliance
numbers,
to the
right.
best of our abilities.
Right, but you're looking at numbers. I'm wondering.
We're
who's
also looking at how it's used, whether it's professional services or unprofessional services for the background and the backup that we get.
Is our attorney here? The person who's our legal,
Yes, we had, I remember seeing them as they joined.
I just want to be honest, I let this go, I was going to let it go, and I thought, this is the second time it's happened with the P card, which shouldn't continue to happen. And you're putting council, we're paying you to make sure council doesn't get in this kind of situation. And here we are in this situation again. And I understand there's even more P cards coming similar to that. And I don't know if they stopped those, I don't know what happened, what the status is.
So
But I mean, it's simple before it got to the council table, making sure it was coded right, or make sure that it was, because it's my understanding it just wasn't coded. I don't know if that's even accurate. But
it was
that's what I
coded to a grant, which was what it was supposed to be coded to. It wasn't it was a service, but it wasn't a professional service. It didn't rise to the level of it needing a license or a certification for someone to do that kind of work. So it doesn't rise to the level of professional service. And as I understand it, they were all separate engagements, which makes them separate purchases. It certainly rose to the level to ask some questions, but from the explanations that we got, it didn't seem like there was any issues with it. And that was how I viewed it at first glance too, but whenever more people dove into it, that was also their explanation.
So I want to hear from legal. Does she review these?
I don't send it to her to review.
But what does she review? What does she review, Council President? Do you know? The person we hired to be our legal advisor.
Currently, council does not have a legal advisor currently.
Did she leave?
You talking
The
about the
person
young
that
woman
was Dan Friesen hired as his assistant, and then we hired her later to consult with council.
Okay, sorry. Now I can't think of her name. She's,
Trinaya.
Yes. She
Is she still here?
she has not passed her bar exam.
Right,
For
but does she
Pennsylvania.
look at this for that, to maybe just, make sure that she's advising our council budget office so that they know? Because, I mean, I'm not going to hold them accountable for legal stuff. They're good with money.
She currently does not. Currently, to the best of my knowledge.
No, she doesn't.
So I think somebody should, because I don't want council to be in this situation again where we're on the news hearing about something that we knew nothing about. And so, I mean, I don't think it's fair to us, I don't think it's fair to the public, and it's definitely not fair to the people being dragged in the middle of it all.
If I may, we established a process after the last P card issue, and I don't have it at the ready in front. I was searching for it, but there was an agreement. I believe there was an agreement with the law department as to what the not the chain of command, but the pathway would be before it got to even the fifth floor, our side of the fifth floor. I will find that, and I will share that again with council members so that we all have it and can.
I wonder who we should hold responsible for when this comes over to us, the way it just did, and council is on the news saying, here's another P card debacle, and we didn't know anything about it. You know, I deleted or held it, I think, for a week, whatever it was, because a council member mentioned it to me that there was some concern. So I held it or deleted it, I can't remember.
It was deleted from the record. It hasn't been put back on.
Okay, so I deleted it from the record, but I didn't even know what I was deleting at the time. I just did it because there was concern. So, okay. I don't want to sit here, but I just want to make sure that going forward, we have somebody looking at this stuff legally, so council's not voting on things that are illegal, so that we're protected, you're protected, and they're protected. And the public, most importantly, the public's dollars are protected. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
No, thank you. I'm sorry. Thank you.
I believe this is routed through the law department. I will check, and I will make sure to confirm that with you and with all council members.
So if they think it's
as
okay,
we'd
if the law
established our
department thinks it's
process.
okay, then I'm okay. I mean, if they say it's good, it's legal,
Yeah.
then it's great.
I'll confirm that with all
Okay,
council
thank
members.
you.
Thank you. Any further discussion on P cards? Seeing none, all those in favor of P cards, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. P cards are approved.
Thank you, thank you.
We have already covered public safety and wellness. We'll move on to Public Works and Infrastructure Committee, chaired by Councilmember Warwick.
Bill 2520, resolution amending Resolution 735 of 2023, entitled Resolution Authorizing the Mayor of the City of Pittsburgh and the Director of the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure to receive grant funding from the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation's Green Light Go program in the amount of $430,000.13 to upgrade traffic control switches to increase the amount of the grant award.
Motion to approve?
Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of Bill 2520, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Affirmative recommendation. New papers, Bill 2490.
Resolution providing for the issuance of a warrant in favor of Serve Pro in the amount of $8,472.02 for water restoration services in the City County building.
Motion to approve?
Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of Bill 2490, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Affirmative recommendation. That moves us to Human Resources Committee, chaired by Councilperson Charland.
Bill 2480, resolution amending Resolution 514 of 2022, which authorized the City of Pittsburgh to enter into a professional services agreement with Rulis and Pocicchio, LLC, for the purpose of providing legal services in connection with the defense of certain workers' compensation matters and claims brought against the city by increasing the cost by $900,000 for 3 additional years of services for a new not to exceed amount of $3,600,000.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of Bill 2480, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Affirmative recommendation. Moves us to Land Use and Economic Development Committee, chaired by Councilman Wilson.
Deferred papers, Bill 2024-0959, ordinance amending and supplementing the Pittsburgh Code Title 9 Zoning Code, Article 6, Chapter 919, Signs, to create and establish the North Shore Entertainment District and set forth regulations for neighborhood or district gateway signs.
Motion to approve discussion?
Second.
Discussion, Councilman Wilson?
Yes, you all have in front of you amend by substitution for 959. And you'll see that it has quite the history on here. A lot of it actually isn't even reflected on this bill, but this is something that planning and the people that represent and all the stakeholders at North Shore have been working on for the past really 15 years. So I just wanted to thank everyone that's worked on this in the past and everyone that worked on this immediate resolution here. I'm sorry, this zoning amendment here, and to get to the real discussion. I know we have to still have the public hearing and everything, and then it comes back to council. And to do that appropriately, I just wanted to reflect what what happened, what transpired at the Planning Commission, which was a unanimous vote on a bill that's in front of you in yellow. And so with that, I'd like to make a motion to amend by substitution bill number 2024-959.
Second.
Discussion? Seeing, and we will discuss the bill afterwards. Is that your intention?
My intention is to call for public hearing, but
Sure. All those in favor of amending Bill 959, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Bill is amended. Discussion on bill as amended.
motion to hold for cablecast public hearing.
Second.
Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of holding Bill 959 for a cablecast public hearing, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Bill be held for public hearing.
Thank you.
Thank you. That moves us to Bill 1993.
Ordinance amending the Pittsburgh Code Title 9 Zoning Code, Article 1, Introduction and Establishment, Section 90203, zoning map to rezone several parcels from the RIV GI Riverfront General Industrial Subdistrict to RIV IMU Riverfront Industrial Mixed Use Subdistrict in the Hazelwood neighborhood, 15th Ward, and in the 31st Ward.
Motion to hold for cablecast public hearing.
Second.
Discussion?
Barb. Yep, we're good.
Motion to hold for public hearing.
Second.
We have a motion and a second already. Is there discussion? Further discussion? All good? Seeing none, all those in favor of holding Bill 1993 for cablecast public hearing, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Bill will be held for public hearing. That moves us to Intergovernmental and Educational Affairs Committee, chaired by Councilman Mosley.
Bill 2484, resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Finance on behalf of the city of Pittsburgh to enter into a cooperation agreement with the Housing Authority of the city of Pittsburgh to document local cooperation in the Housing Authority's agreement to make payments in lieu of taxes for the 11-unit deal, a scattered site public housing development.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of Bill 2484, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Yeah.
Affirmative recommendation, Bill 2495.
Resolution amending Resolution 659 of 2025, which authorizes a cooperation agreement or agreements with the City of Pittsburgh Equipment Leasing Authority for the purchase and leasing of vehicles, equipment and accessories, equipment support, infrastructure, and professional services in fiscal year 2025 by increasing the authorized amount by $165,000 to purchase vehicles and equipment for the Department of Public Works for a new total not to exceed $8,914,319.37.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Councilman Wilson?
Is this Bill 2495?
Correct.
Okay,
It's Councilman
you have an
Coghill,
amendment?
we should defer to him.
I believe that.
Councilman-
Yes, there is an amendment from,
Councilman Coghill?
yep, thank you. So this was for the rat packer that the administration had requested. And that's going to be for the 165, but the $65,000 is for a 4x4 pickup truck that's to be used in, not specifically, but mostly in the rad parks. No, it's not in District 4, I'll tell you that. But so that was added as the amendment. And is there anything else?
Yeah, I want to know what's it coming from?
Uh,
I want to know where the money's coming from specifically, that's all.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody's here to speak to that. I know that Blake knows.
He was coming from the Red Park Trust Fund.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Rad Park
No?
Trust Fund covers Emerald View Park in my district, Shenley Park. I want to know where it covers. I want to make sure I'm not voting for money out of District 2.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not that.
No, my understanding is coming out the general trust fund to be used across the entire city. It's not it's for a specific park.
And it will help District 2 too. But what is the equipment for? What kind of
You have a
equipment?
rad park? You have a rad park?
Yeah,
See?
you do. It's your girlfriend's Rad Park.
I have a girlfriend?
Is it-
Oh, Lisa?
Lisa. The, oh my God. Emerald View Park.
I know we went over where the monies are coming from last week, but I can't quite remember.
If I might suggest,
Yes,
unless
please.
it's urgent, holding for a week so that we can get a handle on this, if anyone knows. It sounds like our budget director even maybe has a different interpretation of what was intended to be amended and what was actually amended.
Yeah, please, Peter, can you help out?
Hi, Peter McDevitt, Council Budget Director. I didn't see the amendment till it was sent out before the meeting, so I can't speak to that. The original bill was to move $165,000 from DPW operations. It looks like the amendment strikes that $165,000, but adds in just $65,000 from RAD. So the RAD packer that you had initially wanted to purchase, this kind of excludes that.
Right, well, I believe Cornell's on his way. Patrick Cornell's on his way to explain. I just got the message from Blake. So can we give him a minute?
Certainly. This is our last bill of the meeting, so perfect
There
timing.
he is.
We will welcome our Chief Financial Officer, Patrick Cornell.
Hi, Patrick Cornell, Chief Financial Officer. Sorry, I was mid-hallway when I figured I'd come down.
So it started out with a couple garbage cans for me, and then, I know we kind of got it all lumped together. Would you explain?
Sure. So anytime that we are adding a new project or new vehicle to the Equipment Leasing Authority cooperation agreement, in the past 2 years, what we started doing is coming to council for every single edition. And Councilman Cockhill had the bill open to add the Rat Packer, which he has talked about over the past few weeks. The administration for the park rangers and Department of Parks and Recreation were getting ready to do the same thing. So this morning, we reached out to your office to say, is it possible to add in this amendment so we wouldn't have to come back to the table? It would take another 3 weeks. That was the 4x4. That is a 4x4, a pickup truck for park rangers. Correct. And what this is it's coming from the RAD Trust Fund, which is the monies we receive from the RAD board. And it is, like I said, to support park rangers and their work in our RAD parks. And that could be any of the 6 regional parks.
And it could be beyond any of the 6 regional parks, but typically we got it for the RAD parks.
The majority of the work should be in these RAD parks, yes.
Understood. That's it for me. Yeah.
Further discussion?
I'm going to shut up.
Seeing none, all those in favor of Bill 2495? I'm sorry. We are all ready for Thanksgiving break, aren't we?
Thank you both for your welcome.
So we have the motion before us. We have a motion and motion to amend in a second. All those in favor of amending 2495, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Discussion on bill as amended. Seeing none, all those in favor of bill 2495 as amended, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Affirmative recommendation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That concludes our standing committee's agenda for today. We do have meeting announcements. Tomorrow, Tuesday, November 25th at 10 a.m., Council will hold budget hearings for the Housing Authority of the City of Pittsburgh and the Urban Redevelopment Authority, chaired by Councilman Mosley. Also, Tuesday afternoon at 1:30, Council will hold budget hearings for Pittsburgh Water and the Pittsburgh Land Bank, also chaired by Councilman Mosley. Lastly, in observance of Thanksgiving holiday, Thursday the 27th and Friday the 28th, all council and clerk's offices will be closed. Is there a motion to anything from members at all? Wishing everyone a very happy Thanksgiving, happy holiday weekend, and much rest for everyone.
I need that.
Anything else from members? Seeing none, motion to approve the minutes and adjourn the meeting.
So move.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.